Yeah! That's it! Yeah!
Things are going this way. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Even down to my travel, I'm like, oh, if it's like off, that flight ain't for me, or this ain't for me. Like,
you know, so then that was kind of like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And
did that make you want to be a rapper more, or make you want to make money to get it back?
Nah.
No.
I'm not with him.
No.
Oh. Yeah. Not by choice, but, you know.
Picture this. A man spends nearly a decade chasing the woman of his dreams. He raps about her, speaks about her in every interview. And finally, the world watches as she says yes. For Yo Gotti, Angela Simmons wasn't just a crush. She was destiny. Their love story was celebrated as proof that patience and persistence could actually pay off. But here's the twist. After years of devotion and sacrifice, Angela has now confirmed she's moved on, leaving Gotti shattered in front of millions. What really happened behind the glamorous photos, the headlines, and the fairy tale? The truth will break your heart. Stop right here, because what you're about to uncover is both heartbreaking and deeply unexpected. It's a story where fame, love, and hidden pain collide. So surreal it almost feels scripted. At the center are Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti, two figures whose names have been linked for nearly 10 years, once celebrated as hip-hop's ultimate love story. For years, Yo Gotti wore his feelings on his sleeve. His lyrics, interviews, even casual conversations always circled back to Angela. Fans watched as his admiration became a legend of its own, the relentless pursuit of the woman he called his dream. It played out like a romantic movie, with the world cheering him on as the underdog hero. When the two finally came together, it felt like fate had answered. Social media lit up with memes about manifestation, and thousands declared their union living proof that patience and persistence could truly pay off. What they shared seemed larger than life, a relationship that wasn't just about love, but about hope itself. But, like so many fairy tales in Hollywood, the glossy exterior began to crack. Behind the curtain, reality told a different story. And today, the narrative has shifted in a way no one expected. Angela Simmons has now confirmed she's in a new relationship, leaving Yo Gotti crushed, humiliated, and heartbroken in a way no amount of money or fame could soften. The fallout stings because theirs was never just a fleeting celebrity romance. It was nearly a decade-long saga, followed by millions like a real-life soap opera. And now, it's over. Angela is moving forward, while Gotti is left in the shadows of a love story that once felt legendary. For years, Angela brushed off Gotti's public admiration, playfully dodging questions about his lyrics and treating it as light-hearted fun. But fans sensed something deeper, a spark that couldn't be ignored forever. So when the two finally became a couple, the internet erupted. Instagram was flooded with glamorous snapshots, Angela draped in designer gowns, Gotti grinning with pride at her side. Together, they embodied the essence of a hip-hop power couple. For Gotti, it was the realization of a dream he had chased for years. For Angela, it may have been a chance to embrace someone who had cherished her so openly. But the fairy tale sheen began to fade. Angela still carried the heavy grief of losing her former fiancé, Sutton Tennyson, who was tragically murdered in 2018. That sorrow lingered like a shadow over even her happiest moments. No amount of lavish gifts, exotic getaways, or public displays of affection could erase the weight Angela carried. Behind the glamorous facade, she was navigating the demanding reality of single motherhood, raising her son while juggling her career and the constant scrutiny of fame. To the outside world, she smiled radiantly, but those paying closer attention noticed the subtle cracks, fleeting moments where her light seemed dimmed, where hesitation replaced confidence. Whispers soon began to circulate that perhaps all was not as perfect as it seemed. Speculation only intensified when paparazzi snapshots, cryptic captions, and quiet social media hints suggested Angela might be growing close to someone else. At first, Gotti brushed it off with the bravado of a man certain his love could endure anything. He laughed at the rumors during interviews, doubled down on his public devotion, and held tightly to the woman he had spent nearly a decade pursuing. But life often delivers its harshest lessons to those who hold on the tightest. Despite Gotti's determination, Angela's heart was drifting elsewhere. Then came the moment that silenced all speculation, a heartfelt video in which Angela confirmed she was in a new relationship. Though she didn't reveal his name immediately, the clues were obvious, and fans wasted no time piecing them together. Her announcement wasn't casual. It was raw, emotional, and deeply personal. Angela's video wasn't just an announcement, it was a declaration of healing. She spoke about peace, about letting go of the weight of her past, and about finally allowing herself to embrace joy again. After years of loss and grief, she longed for someone who could make her laugh, who could bring light back into her life. For her, the message was liberating. For Gotti, it was shattering, the dagger that pierced the very dream he had fought so hard to manifest. Sources close to the rapper revealed that he broke down in tears after watching the video. Imagine devoting years to chasing the woman you love, finally holding her heart in your hands, only to lose it in what feels like an instant. For a man whose entire career had been built on persistence, resilience, and never taking no for an answer, this was the one battle he could not win: Angela's heart. The heartbreak cut deeper because their love story had always been public. That meant his pain became public, too. Almost overnight, began resurfacing old clips of him professing his devotion and pairing them with Angela's new revelation. Viral montages spread like wildfire, turning his private grief into digital entertainment. Memes filled timelines, some offering sympathy, others mocking him outright, while heated debates erupted in comment sections. Had Angela ever truly loved him? Or had she simply given in to years of persistence before realizing her heart wasn't fully invested? Was she wrong for moving on, or was she simply claiming her right to happiness on her own terms? The internet had its opinions, but the truth remained painfully clear. Their fairy tale was over. The split was undeniable, but so was Gotti's pain. Just hours after Angela's announcement, he was seen leaving a Memphis club, his eyes red and his face weary. To friends, he admitted quietly, "I really thought she was the one." That single line, picked up and circulated by sources, hit fans like a punch to the chest. It revealed not just heartbreak, but regret. Regret that the woman he had pursued for so long was gone. Regret that the dream he had finally grasped had slipped through his fingers. Angela's video spread like wildfire across social media, instantly dominating timelines. Within hours, it was the #1 trending topic on Twitter and Instagram. Every word she spoke, every flicker of emotion, was dissected and debated. Supporters rushed to defend her, insisting she had earned the right to happiness after enduring years of grief. To them, her decision wasn't betrayal, it was survival. But critics weren't as forgiving. They accused her of leading Gotti on, of leaning on his devotion as a source of comfort until she was ready to step into something new. The debates grew heated, but through it all, Angela remained composed. She clarified that her choice wasn't born from malice. It was about growth, peace, and aligning herself with the love she needed in this chapter of her life. For her, the move was freedom. For Gotti, it was heartbreak he couldn't escape. For Gotti, Angela's decision symbolized more than heartbreak. It was loss, humiliation, and the cruel reminder that sometimes the dream you chase most passionately can still slip through your hands, no matter how hard you hold on. And yet, those close to the situation insist the story isn't as final as it appears. Insiders whisper that Angela's new romance may have come too quickly, that her heart may still echo with traces of Gotti, and that this chapter might not be completely closed. Because love is rarely simple. It's layered, unpredictable, and often tangled in timing, passion, and sometimes sheer bad luck. Angela may have spoken of a new beginning, but does that truly erase the past? Or does it linger like a song that refuses to leave your head, a melody that plays long after the music stops? This wasn't just any love story. This was Gotti, a man who spent nearly a decade manifesting his devotion, turning lyrics into confessions, and chasing a dream until it briefly became reality. To see it unravel now feels less like gossip and more like watching a fairy tale crumble in real time. And for fans who once believed in the magic, the disappointment stings almost as much as it does for him. The aftermath for Gotti has been especially harsh. Friends say he's withdrawn into himself, isolating more, reflecting quietly, and even struggling to find comfort in the one place he always could: his music. The very thing that once fueled Gotti, his music, has now become his torment. Songs where he immortalized Angela no longer feel like triumphs, they sting like open wounds. Each lyric cuts deeper, transforming his own art into a cruel reminder of what is lost. To the outside world, it's celebrity gossip. But for him, it's sleepless nights spent staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment, asking himself if love was ever enough. Maybe it was doomed from the start. Maybe the weight of fame and the shadow of grief were too heavy to carry. Or maybe the words they never spoke mattered more than the ones they did. Whatever the cause, the outcome is the same. A man who once stood proud in his devotion now left broken in its absence. And so the world watches. Angela steps into a new chapter, smiling alongside her new partner, while Gotti drowns in the echoes of a dream that turned into a nightmare. It's a sobering reminder that even in the glittering world of celebrity, where wealth and influence seem limitless, the heart plays by its own rules. Love cannot be purchased, manifested, or forced. It can only be freely given. And sometimes, no matter how much you fight for it, it slips away. Angela hides her scars behind grace, while Gotti hides his tears behind shades. For the casual onlooker, it's just another piece of celebrity gossip to scroll past on their timeline. But for the two people at the center of it all, this wasn't a headline, it was life. It was years of emotions, effort, persistence, and vulnerability, now laid bare before millions of strangers. And for anyone who has ever loved deeply only to lose it, their story resonates in ways that cut far beyond the glitz of fame. Because love, at its core, is universal. Strip away the cameras, the stage lights, the Instagram feeds, and what remains are two hearts caught in the same fragile dance the rest of us know too well. Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti's romance was never just about two celebrities crossing paths. It became a symbol, a story of patience and persistence, of dreams spoken into existence, and of what happens when the fairy tale you manifest doesn't unfold the way you imagined. Angela carried her pain quietly. The loss of her former fiancé left an imprint on her spirit that no amount of luxury could erase. Yet, when the cameras were on, she exuded elegance, a woman poised and graceful, even when her heart was heavy. For her, moving forward wasn't about discarding the past but about surviving it. Her smile became both a shield and a declaration. She would not be defined solely by tragedy. Still, the scars of grief never fully faded. Those who looked closely could sometimes see the weight behind her eyes. Gotti, on the other hand, lived his love out loud. For nearly a decade, he spoke Angela's name in lyrics, in interviews, in casual conversation, as though saying it often enough would bend fate in his favor. Fans championed him as the underdog, the man who pursued the woman of his dreams with unwavering devotion. And when Angela finally said yes, it felt like destiny itself had rewarded him. In their photos together, Gotti's smile was wide, genuine, full of pride. He had climbed to the top of the charts, built a fortune, and earned respect in the industry, but nothing seemed to bring him more joy than standing beside her. Yet love is rarely a straight path. What looks like destiny from the outside often feels messier on the inside. While Angela tried to heal and rebuild, Gotti fought to hold on, believing his love could anchor them both. But cracks began to form. Small hesitations in her voice, subtle shifts in her energy, moments where her heart seemed somewhere else. The world, of course, noticed. In the age of social media, whispers spread quickly, fueled by cryptic captions, paparazzi photos, and speculation disguised as certainty. For Gotti, dismissing the rumors was easy at first. He had spent years proving doubters wrong in music and business, and he believed love was no different. He laughed off the gossip, reaffirmed his devotion, and trusted that persistence would win again. But life has a way of humbling even the strongest spirits. The moment Angela's video confirming her new relationship surfaced, the world stopped watching with curiosity and started watching with judgment. For Angela, it was a moment of release, an emotional declaration that she was ready for joy again. For Gotti, it was a dagger to the heart, undoing years of belief that patience and love could conquer anything. His heartbreak, unlike most, wasn't private. The internet thrives on spectacle, and his pain became viral entertainment. Old clips of him professing his feelings were stitched together with Angela's confirmation, creating montages that spread across platforms. Memes flooded timelines, some sympathetic, others mercilessly mocking. For fans, it was easy to argue, to pick sides, to cast judgment. But for Gotti, it was unbearable. The love he had once shouted proudly from stages was now the very thing breaking him in silence. Friends say he has been withdrawing, reflecting quietly, and struggling to even find comfort in his music. The very songs where he immortalized Angela now haunt him, each lyric cutting deeper than the last. His art, once his refuge, became a mirror of loss he couldn't escape. Nights became long, filled with questions that may never have answers. Was it doomed from the start? Was the weight of grief and fame too much? Or did love itself simply fade? And yet, this story resonates far beyond two famous names. Because at its heart, it's not just about Angela and Gotti, it's about the universal ache of loving and losing. It's about the cruel irony of finally holding what you always dreamed of, only to watch it slip away. It's about the reminder that no matter how powerful, wealthy, or determined you are, love cannot be forced. It must be chosen freely. And sometimes, despite your best efforts, it is not chosen for you. Angela's new chapter shines with hope, while Gotti's silence speaks of heartbreak. Both truths coexist. One moves forward, the other lingers behind, and the world watches as if it were a film. But this isn't fiction, it's the raw, unfiltered reality of two human beings navigating emotions that fame cannot protect them from. For fans, it will fade into memory, another story in the endless churn of celebrity culture. But for them, it was love. And for anyone who has ever poured themselves into another person, only to watch it unravel, the story cuts deep. Because sometimes, even when you finally get everything you ever wanted, life delivers a twist that leaves you empty-handed. And maybe, just maybe, some love stories don't truly end. They linger, paused on the beat of heartbreak, waiting, echoing, reminding us that the most human part of life is not the victory of love, but the resilience required when it slips away.